Now, the second really simple thing that you can add to your course is a file. And as we saw earlier, the easiest way to add a file to the course is just to take that file and drag and drop it right onto the course. So if, for example, this file that I'm adding now, we know that it's actually the VAT report. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that instead of the VAT report, it was actually a file that contained the list of my objectives. I could just as easily have dropped it onto the course and written it in like that, and then changed the title, and you'll have a file that actually tells you the objectives in the course. Now, I want to have a description there as well, what you will be able to do by the end of this unit. So I'm going to go here to this edit button, and this will allow me to actually go in and edit the settings for that particular resource. And so I'm going to put here what you will be able to do at the end of this unit. And I do want it to display on the page. And so again, you have the same things that you would have seen for the page. There's almost exactly the same for the file. Save and return to the course. And you'll see that that's just another way of doing it. Again, you have to click on it so that it will appear. And if I click on it, you'll notice that I'm actually taken to that PDF. And it loads up. Because it's a fairly big file, it takes a little bit to load. It's not the objectives, it is actually the VAT report. But let's not worry about that right now. So that's another way that we have of actually loading simple information up onto the Moodle course site. Note that you could also, Note that you could also add a file from the Add an Activity or Resource menu just by clicking on the File button here, and it adds it in exactly the same way. The only difference is that instead of dragging and dropping to that home page, you can just drag and drop to this little box over here. I'm going to cancel that because that should be fairly clear on how you do that as well. The third thing, now you'll notice that when I added these two resources, they're kind of hidden away. But there is a way that you can actually add a resource so that instead of it being hidden away so that I have to click to get to the objectives, so that you can see it directly there on the screen, is to add a resource called a label. And it's just what it sounds like. It's a label that you can put in there so you can actually see the text. And the beautiful thing about this is it allows you to put any HTML text directly there into the course. And so in this case, I'm going to put my labels directly in. Note it doesn't have a title block because you just put that title block directly into the label. So I'm going to call it objectives again. And I'm going to put the description in it. What you will be able to do by the end of the unit. And then I'm actually going to go and write my objectives in again. So add simple resources to your course. Actually, no, the first one was add titles to your units. Add titles to your units. The second one was add simple resources to your courses. Ha, rhymes. And the resources that we're looking at, again, I'm going to open that up so I can get the more advanced things. And so one was a page, one was a file, labels, and I know I only said three, but I'm going to show you one more because it's really simple, URLs. and then save and return to course. And you'll notice now you can actually see that thing right there on the screen. Now note, you could have put the objectives in this, you also could have done that by putting the objectives in the summary for starting to build your course. So that's another thing that you can do so that they can show on the screen. So the final activity that I want you to show is a URL. And basically all that is a link to another website. So I'm going to add that in, and I'm going to use this link here. Don't worry about what it is. Editing URL. I'm going to call it my objectives. Once more. What you will be able to do at the end of the unit. And then you just put the URL in here. And appearance, this will tell you how big it is. URL variables, you know, if you want to, there are a whole variety of different things you want to do. Blah, 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 blah. I don't normally put any of these in. Common module settings, we showed you those before, etc., etc., etc. So let's save and return to course and see what that looks like. And you'll see it's the same as before. Oh, I didn't put in show description, so I just need to go ahead and click that. So that I can, so it will be just like the others. And now, okay, here we go. Yep, show description on home page. Save and return to course. Here it is. Again, it looks just like the others. Let me move that up. There. And you have, so we looked at 4 different types of simple resources you can add to your file. 1, a page, which is just basically a page of text and media. 2, an external file. In this case, we used a PDF. 3, a URL, which links to another page. And 4, a label block, where you can actually put the text directly into the unit page. Let me just show you what it looks like when I click on the link for the URL. It's going to actually take me to that page, okay? And so those are some simple things you can add to build your course. And you really can actually start to build a course just using those 4 things. Good luck, try it out.